My name is Ingrid Aubry, and I do photography and photo collage, and they're two very distinctive, different parts of what I do. The photography I've done probably most of my life, almost as long as I can remember. I've loved doing photography. The photo collage developed maybe 20 years ago. My profession for the last 50 years, I guess, has been as a graphic designer. And that very much has influenced how I got into the photo collage process. So it's something I love doing. It's funny, with the two distinctive parts, it's like I sell more of what I'd call my regular photography, but the photo collage is what I love doing. It's the creative part, and it's the fun part, and I never know exactly how it's going to turn out, and it's just fun to do. So that's it. I would say it has changed in many ways. I mean, the obvious one is that it used to be on film, and there was a lot more technical knowledge that was required. Way back, I spent many hours in the dark room, which I loved doing. That was so much fun. And it's funny too, because I realized not too long ago that my photo collage process actually, probably the seeds of that were done in the dark room, because even back then I was doing a lot of experimenting with overlaying negatives and trying to get special effects, things of that sort. But it's kind of, I mean, it's so advanced over the years now that anybody can take a picture and take a pretty good picture on their phones. And I have to say, the camera phones have gotten better and better and better. And I think maybe people don't quite have the respect for photography that they used to because of that, but also because I think, especially the younger generation, have a different way of looking at photographs. They snap them, they post them on Facebook, they delete them, you know, and they don't have the value. But I think I like to think there's still a place for good photography. I know I still appreciate it, and it seems like I have an audience out there that still appreciates it. So I think it'll keep on going, and it may change form again, who knows, but. As I mentioned earlier, I think the seeds of it were probably sown in the darkroom, but I think my photography took a turn once I moved to Oregon, because it was just so beautiful here and the flowers everywhere, and I became a little obsessed with just taking, the flora everywhere. It was just so beautiful. So I increased my photography at that point, and having been a graphic designer, Photoshop was my tool for years and years. I mean, it was until somewhat recently, it was pretty much the realm of graphic designers. Most people didn't even know what it was. I mean, I think a lot of people know what it is now, and some people use it. But one of the things that you can do in Photoshop is have layers, and each layer can be different opacities. So you can get many different layers in there doing different things. And when I first started doing it, it was just sort of an experiment. But I started getting some effects that I liked, and I didn't even know quite what to call it. Nobody really seemed to be doing anything like that at the time, and so I sort of felt like I invented it, and eventually I did come across the term photo collage, and I thought, yeah, I guess that is what I'm doing here. And nowadays, there's a number of people that do similar kinds of things, but at the time, there wasn't anybody doing it that I knew of. But the process is interesting. It's like this picture of the St. John's Bridge, for instance, probably has maybe 16 layers involved in getting the photo. They were all taken at that site, but for instance, all the flowers in here were all laid in separately. And these are flowers that were growing under the bridge, but they were different photos than the ones of the bridge. There's probably 2 or 3 overlays of the bridge itself that are in there, but a lot of people think it looks like a watercolor. It's just kind of a nice effect. The one of the arch bridge all the flowers along the edges were done separately. They actually were flowers that I gathered at the time, leaves, and I took pictures of them when they were dried, and then inlaid all of those separately. So it ends up, and then I also do some digital painting, and obviously the colors are exaggerated and things of that sort. So it's a very fun process, and I never do know exactly how it's going to turn out, but mostly they turn out pretty nicely. Some of the things I do, I don't have any right here, but some of them are quite quirky. I like to find things like old toys or things I just happen upon and put them in there, and sometimes they're pretty funny. They amuse me anyway. I consider it personally a basic need. It's important to my life, and I think it's important to other people. It should be, if it's not already. Art is so many things. It's inspiring, it's uplifting, it's mind-changing. It can change your entire perspective, not just from a viewpoint, but visually. I actually did a series at one point using a different perspective, just to make myself more aware. I did a series of like bottoms of things, and then a series of middles of things, and just the stuff that you don't really notice. But there's also things like someone else will take a photograph of a familiar place, but it's from an angle that I've never seen before, and all of a sudden you're seeing it differently. It changes your whole viewpoint. Art can be educational. It can cross cultural barriers. It can even be an action thing, to motivate people, a call to action of some sort. Life would be very dull without art. I know I could not live without it.